God did not intend for us to leave everything just inside the church walls. He meant for us to go out and spread His good news. And when people find out how much you care, then they care how much you know. Mother Teresa is quoted as saying, "The greatest poverty in this world is the feeling of being unloved." And so when we encounter people on the street, I would say that's the most common trait that we encounter is people feel like they don't matter. They feel like nobody cares about them, that nobody loves them. Well, welcome to Chelsea Park. We come here every Wednesday and Friday from 10 to 2, much like most of our spots. This spot's unique because it has the most genuine street homeless, where people are literally sleeping on trains and out on the sidewalk. They're not in shelters nearly as much. It's a very transient population. We see probably the most new faces here, more than any other spot that we go to. So we're always meeting new people, people that have just come in from another city or wherever it might have been. And there are plenty that come back here again and again too. One thing that you may be surprised is that a homeless person may look just like anybody else, and that's because that's what they want. They come to this part of the city in particular because they can blend right in. The nutshell of Isaiah 58 is to love on whoever God puts in front of you. It was at a time that people were really good about going to church and festival and holiday and doing all the fasting, and God was basically calling them out and saying, you know what, you're really doing that for yourself. You're not doing that for others. And it's like, I made you to go and love on other people. And He said, when you start fasting from turning your backs on your own flesh, to clothe the naked, to feed the hungry, to set the oppressed free, He's like, that's the kind of fasting I want you to do, is stop turning your backs on each other. And when you do that, I will come quickly, and your light will shine like the noonday. And the neat thing about Isaiah 58 is Isaiah the prophet was sent out to an existing body of believers, not to a foreign land. He was sent to Israel, not to convince people that God was real, but to remind them that what God had already called them to do and what He had set them free from, all the years of slavery and bondage, and delivering them to the promised land. Well, our goal here is to build relationships with the folks that we encounter here. We have a lot of information that we can share, but a lot of people don't trust that information until they know who we are. So people in general, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So we want to just go love on whoever God puts in front of us and just start to make sure that they know that they matter, that God hasn't forgotten them, that He promises that He won't forsake them or abandon them. And we want to go out and just remind them of that through giving of soup and giving bread, giving drinks, socks, whatever it is that we can do to open up a dialogue and start to build a relationship. So people come here on a regular basis to just find rest, those that are weary, because they know that we're not going to chase them off. They can sit in a chair the whole time. We're not going to tell them that they need to scurry along. Whatever it is that they might need that we can help with, we want to be able to do that and let them know that it's God that's looking out for them. We bring it through the hope of Jesus Christ.
3 years ago, we met Jason from Metro Relief, and he just touched our hearts. He's come down here and they serve the people every Friday, and It's just been a blessing to me and my wife and everybody down here. They do so much to help us and to encourage us and give us hope. And they show us the love of God every day that we see Him.
And I know God sent him, and this is what He replaced my new shoes with. And these aren't tennis shoes, and they have no support. Mm-hmm. And I haven't had a brand new pair of tennis shoes in about 5.5 years.
People know when they feel loved, and people know when they don't. And we want to make sure that everybody that we encounter feels loved. It's more important than a cup of soup or a pair of socks. And while those things are definitely some immediate earthly needs, the feeling of being loved is so much more important. And we want to make sure people know that they're not forgotten. And when we do see them, we want to make sure that we get to know them for who they are, not for their situation.
Well, I wanted to thank God bless y'all for everything y'all done.
For the food, for you coming out every week.
Yeah.
For doing
we're
Giving
here.
us
We're
shoes
here
and socks.
faithfully every Friday because we know y'all are going to be here, and it's so awesome to stand and talk to y'all, and y'all hear our stories and stuff.
Well, one of the cool things that I get to see because I go out week after week is the changing volunteers. People coming from all parts of the country, even all parts of the world, to come out and serve and to see the transformation, especially those that are brand new. They came for the first time with questions and the confidence that you see as they progress through a week of outreach. It's great to watch that transformation, but the cooler thing is finding out that after they left that they kept going. Some of the teams that come out, they barely know each other when they show up, and by the end of it, they're family. Getting involved in volunteering is not only just a great thing to do because you're helping other people, but it's also great for yourself. You go out to bless others, and there's so many blessings that you receive in return. You start to learn a lot about who you are. You find out more about yourself. You find out what God has been preparing you for as you become more available. Whatever your gifting might be, God can use it. What He needs you to do is to show up. He can't use your gifts if you're not available to Him. So make yourself available, whatever it might be. You might not even realize what your gift is until you show up. Yes, in New York City and in Metro Relief we have a bus, and it's great. We're so blessed to have it. It's a great tool in our toolbox, but it's more important that you are there. Just show up. If you have nothing in your hands to give out, you still have something to give out, and that's the love of Christ. And you can go and just love on somebody at a street corner, in a grocery store, while waiting in line for something. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be His hands and feet. You can spread the gospel.